We light this first Advent candle to call upon hope. We relight the second Advent candle to call upon peace. We light this third Advent candle to call upon joy. May the joy of this season be manifest in each life. May we remember that joy may be found in the smallest of things. A smile shared, a hand held, a candle lit during these short, dark days. And may we help each other to rekindle the flame of joy each time it goes out.
Our meditation this morning is by Cynthia Fredo. To the weaver of molecules, the spinner of stars, the impulse that gives birth to the universe, to the earth, to me. In the deepest, darkest night of my wintered soul, I wrap myself in the blanket of my sadness and grief, pain and suffering, doubts and concerns, fears and questions, and look out from my wondering eyes toward the light that dares to penetrate the layers of blindness that surround me. So obscured is my vision because of the trials and tribulations of this life that it is your fractal rays of possibility and hope that I seek to inspire me to emerge from this cocoon that holds me. Each luminescent ray of love and hope and possibility is that catalyst which I need to transform my thoughts and emotions into fuel for that inner fire which will dispel the darkness of my night, which will help me to see more clearly the embers of love and hope and possibility that dwell within me. I long to be filled with renewed energy and strength to thrust new life into these wings of my rebirth. The fragile fragments of my life, the ingredients in the alchemist's hand, creating a new energetic substance to course through my veins. This womb of my becoming has been one of struggle and transformation. I was never meant to remain in this confinement of darkness. I was created to dwell in the infinite light. To the weaver of molecules, the spinner of stars, the impulse that gives birth to the universe, to the earth, to me, in the deepest, darkest night of my wintered soul, I shall look through the window of my expectant eyes toward the source of my being, waiting as I do for your alchemist's hand to create within me the change that is necessary for the season of my rebirth. I was never meant to remain in this confinement of darkness. I was created to dwell in the infinite light. Spring will come again, this I know, and I will be ready for my emergence and unfolding that I might soar ever higher into my own becoming, into the light of my own transcendence, reawakened, renewed, reborn. Amen, and blessed be. Our reading this morning is by Mary Oliver, entitled Heavy. That time I thought I could not go any closer to grief without dying. I went closer, and I did not die. Surely God has had his hand in this, as well as friends. Still, I was bent, and my laughter, as the poet said, was nowhere to be found. Then said my friend Daniel, brave even among lions, "It's not the weight you carry, but how you carry it. Books, bricks, grief, it's all in the way you embrace it, balance it, carry it when you cannot and would not put it down." So I went practicing. Have you noticed? Have you heard the laughter that comes now and again out of my startled mouth? How I linger to admire the things of this world that are kind and maybe also troubled. Roses in the wind, the sea geese on the steep waves, a love to which there is no reply. Someone posted something I loved on Facebook the other day. The post said, "One door closes, another opens. One door closes, another opens. One door closes, another opens." And then it said, "Me, eating through a chocolate advent calendar." Isn't that good? In a recent New York Times piece entitled, "Yes, It's Okay to Be Sad During the Holidays," columnist Marissa Miller wrote, "All I want for Christmas is a nap." Yes, there are those who have the patience and the willpower to eat one piece of chocolate a day, to leave the others nestled behind their perforated little doors. And I'm sure there is deep satisfaction in that. But for others of us, this is the season for eating through chocolate advent calendars in one sitting. And for longing not for gifts or connection or merriment, but simply for a nap. Yes, there are those who have perfect holiday outfits picked out and washed and pressed, ready for their debut at a string of holiday parties. And for others of us, there are fleece pants with our names on them and an impression of our bodies on the couch where we will be spending most evenings from now until the new year. Yes, there are those who get along perfectly with their extended families of origin, who delight in getting together at this most wonderful time of the year. And for others of us, family time is a struggle, fraught with complexities, or sometimes even not an option. Some of us are estranged from our families. Some of us are missing family members who have died or who are no longer themselves. all of you, no matter what category you fall into, are welcome here today at this Blue Christmas service. Now, most of you already know about my passion for Hallmark Christmas movies. That might have to change now that they have canceled a commercial that they have been running that featured two women kissing on their wedding day because of pressure from the religious right. Why can't the conservatives leave my guilty pleasures alone? But last week, I watched a great holiday Netflix series called Happy, Merry, Whatever. Anyone else? No, just me. It's a wonderful family comedy centered around the holiday season in the Quinn family. Now, the Quinn family is a loving and close-knit family, but it's also a family with a lot of rules and expectations and secrets. No one is able to be totally themselves because they are so busy trying to be the best possible version of themselves so as not to lose favor with the family, and particularly with the dad. The in-laws have an especially hard time living into this picture-perfect family scenario where there doesn't seem to be room for them. Especially around the holidays, everyone is expected to be happy and merry and participate in all the old traditions like tree decorating and caroling and puzzle doing and cookie baking and making quintentions, which is basically a New Year's resolution with the name Quinn tacked on. But as they go through these motions, each of them is harboring a silent heartbreak that they aren't sharing with the family. And because the feelings are so repressed, no one is really enjoying all the old traditions at all. And tensions are coming out sideways. Reactions are strong to things that don't really matter at all, which are more acceptable to get upset about than the real problems they are each having. For the eldest daughter, who is struggling with infertility, the fixation for her grief and fear and sense of not being in control comes to a head when she finds that the puzzle that they have been doing for days and days is actually missing a piece. She freaks out. She searches for the missing piece on hands and knees, interrogates the family about their complicity in this tragedy. She cannot find any piece while this puzzle remains incomplete. And of course, it's not really about the puzzle, right? But that is how our grief and fear and anger and doubt get revealed sometimes, in our outsized reactions to that which normally wouldn't really bother us at all. Our emotions can only stay bottled up inside us for so long. And so this season can be a rough one. Because no one wants to talk about or listen to the hard things at this time of year. They just want us to be happy, merry, whatever. They don't want us to be sad. But the truth is, December is not exempt from sadness. There are no blockout dates for grief, for depression, for loss and illness and breakups and misunderstandings and financial worry. There are no holidays from struggle. So while it's sometimes good to let ourselves be distracted by the holiday season or give ourselves a break from worry to find the joy in gift giving and receiving, or the pretty lights, or the holiday parties, I think it's important to also acknowledge the full scope of what we are feeling this month. To not bottle up all the less desirable emotions of our inner landscape. If we make some room to be gentle with ourselves, to set some limits and have realistic expectations about this season and our participation in it, we might just be able to make it through to the new year. 2020. How the heck did that happen, by the way? So to give us all a little help with getting through to 2020, here is my 2019 Holiday Survival Guide. The advice within is compiled from Sarah Scherer's article, Advice for Grinches, How to Avoid the Holiday Funk, Kristen Meekoff's 5 Ways to Deal with Grief This Holiday Season, and other advice that I have been given over the years that I have found helpful in my own holidays. Tip number 1, protect your energy. Your energy is your currency. And if you think about your emotional energy like a cell phone battery, you realize that there are limits to it. And certain situations and people can drain your emotional battery, leaving you with little energy left for other things. During this season especially, it's important to be aware of who and what depletes your resources and demands more from you than you are able to give. And it's important to plan in times to recharge your battery by doing things that bring you energy instead of using it up. Tip number 2, use your opt-out pass. I hereby bequeath to anyone experiencing bereavement or depression this time of year an all-access opt-out pass that can be used anytime, anywhere, with anyone. So if you find yourself wanting to decline an invitation, even if you've actually already said yes, go ahead and use your pass. This works even if you are on the doorstep of the event you are planning on going to, or even if you're already at the event and realize that you've made a big mistake in coming. If anyone gives you a problem around this, please tell them to see me. Tip number 3, take deep breaths. By taking a big, slow, deep inhale, and then exhaling slowly, we can calm our body's response to stress. You can use that 5-finger meditation that we often do together, or you can just take a few deep breaths. You don't have to be a daily meditator to have access to this tool. Just remember to breathe. It helps. Tip number 4, practice gratitude. Research indicates that a daily or weekly gratitude practice enhances our well-being, even if it only takes a minute, and even if we are skeptical about it. At the end of the day, write down 3 things for which you are grateful. Instead of broad responses like my health or my family, try looking back on your day and picking out 3 specific highlights. Remember, nothing is too small to be grateful for. So answers like, the way the tree's shadow was cast across the lawn, is a perfectly fine answer. Tip number 5, practice generosity. While it is said that it is better to give than to receive, you might not always feel this around the holidays. The added expenses, packed stores, and overall stress that comes with holiday gift giving might make you feel like giving is not the best way to get out of your Grinchness. But remember, you can be generous in other ways. With your time, your hugs, your smile, and your listening ear. If you do have extra funds, you can support nonprofits or a family in need. And trust me, you won't regret it. Tip number 6. Pretend you are making a documentary. If your family or even your friends are making things extra difficult for you at this holiday gathering and you are at risk of having all your buttons pushed at once, get some distance by pretending that you are making a documentary of the event. Your imaginary camera gives you just enough distance to notice what is going on without being totally hooked by it. Oh, look, Uncle Norman is at the punch bowl again. Seems like Janet is deploying her passive-aggressive skills. And, okay, it's now been a total of 6 times that I've been asked if there's anyone special in my life these days. I think I'll put all those clips together into an epic video montage. The other day, my friend texted me and included the initials FOMO, FOMO. I'm not hip enough to know what this means, and I'm too tired to figure it out. I texted back. What does FOMO mean? Fear of missing out, she texted back. FOMO, fear of missing out. I guess this was always a thing, but it's even worse now that we can see all of what our friends and family members are up to online. So this is my second to last pearl of wisdom to offer you this holiday season. Tip number 7, minimize social media consumption. If you are regularly / obsessively checking your Facebook feed, try to bring awareness to how it's making you feel. Do you notice sadness, uneasiness, or tightness? Is your mind comparing your life to the lives you see online? Since most people only highlight their best moments on social media, you are most likely not getting the full picture of someone's life. Comparing your normal, flawed life to one that appears to be perfect is a recipe for sadness. Forget what other people are doing. Chances are they aren't having the best holiday ever either, no matter what their Instagram pictures may look like. Try putting your phone down more often and staying off of social media. Notice if any of your feelings shift. Now, to tell the truth, I don't even know what to tell you about how to receive all of the picture-perfect holiday photo cards that begin to arrive in the mail at this time of the year. I mean, I'm glad I get them, but how is it that our emotional response to them can be a surprise every single year? I guess all I can say is, maybe don't open the mail when you are already feeling sad. And finally, tip number 8, seek professional help. Don't shy away from scheduling an appointment with a licensed professional, including a therapist or a life coach. It may be helpful to schedule the time either before or after a specific event so that you can process any feelings that might come up from it. Professionals are one of our best resources for navigating a difficult season. So I hope you find some of these tips helpful, and I also hope that you will share your own tips with me and with each other. because we all have wisdom to offer each other than be of good cheer. And if you are missing someone, I hope you'll tell me all about them. And if you need to skip out on some things, we will understand. And please cry when you need to. We have space for that here. As my colleague Carl Gregg says, our choices shouldn't be limited to either celebrating a Hallmark holiday or not celebrating the holidays at all. We have the freedom to find meaningful and authentic ways of marking our holidays with rituals that honor the reality of our actual life. So as my colleague Erica Hewitt advises, form a plan for the coming weeks so that on the other side of this winter, you can look back and say, here's how I made it gentler on myself. And here's where I remembered that love will show itself again and again. I'd like to close with a poem by Rachel Barenblatt, aka the Velveteen Rabbi. It's called The Longest Night. We all tell ourselves stories about grief to come. Anticipating the dark, we think, how can I live without the sun I turn toward? We wrest what gifts we can from the dying days. One morning we wake, and the doorway we most dreaded is behind us. The ice may not recede for months to come, but day by day, may there be more light. I wish you all a peaceful holiday season, and day by day, may there be more light. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be.